video we will discuss what to take with you when walking the dogs. So some gear for yourself, some gear for the dogs. And we will discuss both normal standard gear, but also we will discuss more situational gear. So in my opinion, first of all, some people let the dogs free, without a collar, without a leash. I'm not for that. I think you should always use a leash and collars, or at least have them with you. So the leash is there to control the dog for its own safety, but also to control it if there are other dogs or animals that you want to restrain it from. So that's a good thing. And the collars are of course the connection between the leash and the dog at one side, and on the other side also offer a little bit of protection. So what do I intend with protection? One, if you have a good collar, it protects the throat of the dog. So both from pulling at the leash, as you can see, especially on the red collar on the male. It's a hurricane collar, very broad, protects the throat from the pulling, but also if another dog would attack it, it has a little bit more protection on the vital area, because the veins are very close to the coat there. The female has a leather collar, a lot smaller, a lot less wide, but also a lot less wide of a neck. And females are very often, not always, but less quarrelsome than males are. So that gives you a little bit of feedback. The little chain in between is a chain that combines two collars on one line. So that's very handy if you have two dogs or even more and that you want to have one hand free. You can use this span and still control them. I did it a little bit more alternatively because the hurricane collar has such a thick D ring that it does not allow to directly connect the chain on it, as you can see here very clearly. Another thing to consider is the line. I use a police line, as they say, which has multiple buckles, which you can adjust the length of the line with. I also carry little sachets, and those are for if the dog has excrements, you can clean them up and keep it tidy. But the other thing that you see here is a stinger that can be used to either pry open a jaw or to put some stimulation on, for example, an animal that is attacking your dog without hurting it too badly. So you have just a little stinger, as the name implies, and this stinger is even, I made it less acute, so it will do less concentrated force amplification. Just a very mild situation there. And with the guard, as you can see here, you can also protect your hand a little bit more. I have a little bit of rope around it to secure the stinger, but also this can come in handy if you have to secure the dog or something else breaks and you have to make a collar from that when, for example, the collar has been lost or something else happens. You have something to do, and you can also use it to secure a straight dog. And that could be a good thing that you have an additional way to do that. So with me I carry some additional bags, the sachets for the excrements. Once this one is empty, I still have another one. Also on the line I have one additional for quick release, so that's beneficial. Always carry good shoes, I recommend that. I'm not saying that you cannot do it on bad shoes, but this makes it a lot more pleasant. And a pants that is not that dandy, so if other dogs approach you and stand up against you, this is not going to ruin your pants, so that's a good thing. A good jacket is also a good thing because it protects you against the elements, and if you have dogs you go out in good weather, but also dogs and cats weather. If it's raining dogs and cats. Also I have with me a little brake stick. I will show you this later. This is a stick that you can use to open up the jaws of a dog that is reluctant to open its jaws, for example, to release the ball, or when they get in a quarry with another animal and they are reluctant to release. It's especially a good thing to have with breeds that have a little bit of Molosser or Bull and Terrier blood in them. The smaller the dogs that you have a little bit of different needs in sturdidity, but also in the size to make it fit the jaws. An additional thing that you can do to make a dog release is of course suffocate it. This is a thing that has quite a lot of risks, whereas the break stick does not have that risk that much. If not used improperly, it almost has no risk, because if you use them properly you can stick it somewhere in the top layer of the mouth and cause some damage, but if you use it properly you just use it to pry open the jaw without any danger at all. So that's a good thing to have with you, especially if you have dogs who have a little bit more temperament. You can also use this little one, but that's less good at starting because it is quite wide to begin with, but it can be useful nevertheless. That are the main attributes that you can use. If you look at the coat that you have, you can also beanie on your head, so to protect you a little bit. It's easy with a beanie that you can just put it on the heating again, even when it's soaked, and it will be dry and ready for the next turn. Also, if you have a coat with a hoodie, this is perfect as well, as you can see. So some examples. I also recommend for your clothing not too light coloration, because if you have very light coloration you will find it oftentimes dirty. So that being said, I already mentioned a lot, but if you go for larger walks I recommend to bring something to eat for yourself, but also for the dogs, and something to drink. Normal water is the best normally, and you also have solutions that have a little bit of drinking bowl attached. This could be helpful to not waste water. Additional things could be that you have a little bit of first aid kit. That's especially when you're hunting a bigger factor. But then it's also good to have a collar that you can locate the dogs, especially when they go underground, so you see where they are. And also you have protective vests, especially against hawk hunting. That being said, you also have some additional things that can be handy, but are very situational. You could use an anchor that you can press into the grass and secure it even when there are no trees. The easy of a police line like this, that you have ample opportunities to tie it down, but even a standard line can be, of course, knotted so to secure it. But when you're in an open field, it's nice that you have an anchor that you can press into the field. Please test it and also put some strain on it. If it is sufficient, you also have anchors that you can use on tables for quick release, but those are not that much needed, because you always are able to secure the leash in other ways to the table. I think those are the main things to take into consideration when you go for a dog show. Of course, or test of the dog's utility. I would always recommend also taking a bench and some sheets with you to secure it from sun, especially so that the dogs do not get overheated when you're in an open field and you have no protection against the elements, especially the sun. But also the blankets can help a little bit against rain and wind. So that's something to take into consideration as well. But normally you don't take this when you're going for a walk, of course. I hope this helps. Have a great day. So how to deal with dominant type of dogs and to prevent escalation with other dominant dogs. So first of all, put it on a leash. That way you have a means to control the dog and keep it away. Also use a good collar. That has two benefits. First of all, it secures. This one has double needles going through and also double stitches. So that's very good and very secure. This is made out of how do you say, it's a secure belt, so that you secure you in the case of a crash. You can also do it the other way around. huh? Or have it in addition. You can do something that the dogs really likes. If they have prey drive, you can use a ball to um, get their attention to another direction. And once it does escalate, you have two things what you can do. The less recommended one is that you can use the line, the leash, to control the air and therefore yeah, dictate the dog to release. Or a far better option is using a braking stick, also known as a brake stick, so it doesn't break the dog, doesn't break its jaws, it just breaks the grip. So it's put into from the side into the jaw like that, and then you twist it without touching the top of the, the mouth or the bottom, so that you do not perforate it with this side, but you just twist it, and by twisting it you make more space, and then you can pull it out to release the dog again. So this is a braking stick. This one is used made from a sort of plastic that is not too soft but also not too hard, so you don't damage the teeth that easily. It also does not splinter. You can use this with this with the string that you can use it to secure it around your neck or put it somewhere in your coat. You can also use a lot smaller one for a dog, like a Petadil Terrier, and also less thick. This is more of an all-round braking stick that you can use for bull and terriers, like American Staffordshire Terrier, Staffordshire Bull Terrier, American Pit Bull Terrier, English Bull Terrier, but also for Malinois and Mastiffs and the likes, and Rottweilers, etc. But the thing is, especially with a non-bull and terrier, very people-friendly dogs, you have to make sure that the dog does not bite you once you release it. And with bull and terrier breeds, this is often not so much of a big deal. Hope this helps. Have a great day. Bye bye.